What is up, everybody? Today I've got a video dealing with these lights here. These are Weeylite Sprite 20s. And I say these because there's actually two. There's one behind me shooting that purple into the background. And before I get too far into this video, do note that there's probably going to be some flashing. So if you're sensitive to that stuff, don't watch it. Also, these are sponsored lights. I did not pay for these. I did not get money for these. Basically, I got these in exchange for the video that you're watching now. All right, these are RGB bicolor lights. That means you have red, green, and blue emitters on one LED die, which is a whole array of the screen. And I'm holding it upside down, not that you guys can tell. And a bicolor array, which means that there's cool white LEDs and then also warm white LEDs. So you can change the color temperature of white light. So these are good for color and white light output. Let's quickly go over power, because unlike pocket RGB lights that are just USB charged, these are a little bit different. They have a 5521 barrel jack power adapter, and those power adapters do have very long cords, I think 10 feet. So that's a lot longer than I was expecting. They're suitable. I'm also curious if it can run off of a power station. Let's see, that's already on. Doesn't need to be in AC mode. So these are 12 volt outputs, and supposedly these are good for like 14, 18, whatever. And I was wrong. This is not a 5521 barrel jack because it doesn't fit. So it's not compatible with power banks. I imagine it wouldn't anyways because the voltage is too low. The other option is with these Sony style NP-F batteries, which are held in with a nice little retaining clip so they don't just fall off. So this is an NP-F 550 size pack, and the packs on this light back here, these are NP-F 970 batteries. So you can get different size batteries with different weights and correspondingly different run times. These are not included with the lights, so you will have to supply these on your own. Maximum power is 30 watts, so you can actually use that to calculate how long it would last, even for smaller batteries. Oh boy, it doesn't like having both of these on at the same time. Anyways, there are 3 different ways of controlling these lights. First, you have the app. And I should add that all of the functions of the light are available through all of the control methods. So it's not like one is necessarily better or more featured than the others. So first you have the app that you can control the output of the different colors. It does take a little bit of time to update. These operate on a very special type of Bluetooth called Bluetooth Low Energy, in the form that the phone and the remote are just Bluetooth transmitters. There's no actual two-way communication or pairing. These just send out a signal, the light receives it, and does whatever the signal tells it to. And I believe that this is also a Bluetooth emitter. One nice thing about the remote control, it's a model RC11. It can control both the Sprite 20s and the Weeylite S03s. A lot of people were concerned that you need the app to operate the S03s, but if you get this controller, you can do anything that the app can do, really. So you don't absolutely need the Bluetooth app to run S03s. So it's really cool to figure this out for this video, and I hope that's helpful for anybody who is interested in the S03 and maybe not too thrilled about requiring Bluetooth. The standard app has 3 different setting modes. You have CCT, HSI, and scene. Now CCT is going to be multiple different, again, commands. You can do power levels, and this does take a little bit of time to update on the light. You can see there it went up to full power. You can also change the color temperature. So if you want it cooler like that is, or warmer, you can just drag the bar back and forth. And then it has shortcuts along the bottom that you can very quickly change it into whatever color you want. Now, the lights I have in front of me are set at 5,000 Kelvin. So this 5,000 Kelvin on the back, or 5,200, is very similar. And we can also go to much cooler temperature, obviously, and a warmer temperature. just like that. HSI has a color wheel, so you can drag it around and get all the different colors that you want for your background or foreground, or a little bit of accent lighting. And then you can also change the power output in this setting as well. And it does have a saturation, so if you find the angle that you want, you can drag the saturation down and you'll get less color. Finally, there's a scene mode, and also it still has power and different speeds, so slow, normal, fast. I'm going to put on normal, and there are many different really cool scenes that you can actually run, like flame. You could set it up as TV, so if you're filming outside a house and you want it to look like there's somebody in the house watching TV. Police, grassland, bar, and then there are also color fading modes too here. Purple wave mode. So there's a lot of different functionality, and all of these different FX, they call them scenes, are also available with the remote control and the controls that are on the back of the light. Now I just put the batteries in. This is on channel 2. The light behind me, I believe, is channel 1. So this does have independent control of different lights. So channel 1, we can have flashing red and blue lights. On the app, I switch from channel 1 here down to channel 2, hit OK. And now channel 2 will do whatever the last setting was, but we can also set this to something else. So they are independently controllable, not only in different FX modes or scene modes, but in your CCT and HSI modes as well. So there we go. Pretty cool. Let's switch that back to, come on, channel 1. It's not the slowest or fastest way to switch between things, but you don't have to go anywhere. You can do it from wherever you are, as long as it's set up correctly. So you do have to set a specific channel and group on the lights and know what those are to control them in the app. Let's put the background back to purple, because I like purple. It does have these light stands that it comes with, and these light stands go from pretty short all the way up to really tall. And I'm going to put those measurements here. So those measurements are from the feet up to the threaded adapter here. Beyond that, the lights come with these really cool angle adapters. So if you have a light that is, say, really high up and you want it to shine down on your head as like a hair light, well, there you go, Bob's your uncle. And it does come with a bag sufficient to hold the light stands and the lights, of course, and a full manual. I should also note that I was looking at the manual for battery lifespans of these NPF 970s. They're stating a MP-F 960 will last 2.5 hours. They're also saying that's at maximum power, 100% full. Now, I don't know if that 100% full is like full white or full white plus RGB. There's a little bit of a difference there. Now let's get to some of the drawbacks. They originally wanted me to do a review with these S03 Weeylite pocket RGB lights and the Sprite 20s that are the context of this video, but they don't. They operate on the same Bluetooth technology, but the signals coming out of the app are different. They take different apps, and I can demonstrate that right now. This is just the normal Weeylite app. So if you go to constant color temperature, they will both do the same thing. It behaves like you would expect. If you go to the HSI mode, they both do the same thing. It behaves like you would expect. If you go to the scene mode, they don't do the same thing. So in here, if I put it on green wave, you see the background is green wave, and then this is like the police are here. So this app only works well for the Sprite 20s. There's a different app that is meant for the S03s. That's the Weeylite Pro app. And the FX functions are different. I hope they haven't backed themselves into a corner with what's already been deployed. So I hope that that's something that they can more cohesively manage and mesh together into one cohesive ecosystem of RGB amazement. There's a few other things that you wouldn't necessarily know are missing as accessories that probably could be added. No, we'll phrase it differently. There are a few accessories that they could include, but have not. Other competing lights do have these accessories. The first one is any sort of softbox. So this is already a fairly large light, but if you want it to be softer and larger, to put a diffuser in front of it, they don't have one. At least it doesn't come with one. The other option that it doesn't have is any sort of barn doors to direct the light forward or to the sides. And so the same goes for any sort of modifier that you would want to put in front of this, like a grid or anything else. So you are only getting the light and what it outputs as a fairly large soft light in its own right. So that's not necessarily terrible. Now, if I go into the Weeylite Pro app, it does allow me to individually control the RGB, W, and Y, or yellow, light outputs. All right, these are the different LEDs. They're all on at the lowest output setting. I'm going to wait for the camera to adjust its exposure so we can see the individual emitters. Come on, camera. Figure it out. There we go. So you can see each individual emitter here. And there's the red emitters, and there's the green emitters, and the blue emitters, and the white emitters, and the yellow emitters. I'm only saying this because I find it interesting. The red, green, and blue emitters are combined onto one chip. The white and the warm white or yellow are on their own separate emitters. So here I can turn it to 1, 1, 1. And this is the red, green, and blue channels on 1% each. Here are the white and yellow channels, where cool white and warm white channels on at the same time. We can see that they are different emitter chips. And overall, I do give the recommendation, if you're looking for this sort of studio lighting, yeah, it's a great option. It's just a little bit more money than a normal bicolor light set. And at that point, I think it's a fantastic value. In summary, I do recommend this product. So I would like to thank Weeylite for sending this out. And I hope to include it in a lot of future videos as accent lighting to make things a little bit more visually appealing and interesting. No more flat white shop lights. Well, okay, sometimes, yes, flat white shop lights, because a lot of times that's how I'm working. But if I'm doing presentations in front of a camera like this, yeah, we're gonna bring these puppies out because they make things cool or warm. And I'll see you guys around.